Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Roster Talk, and we've got another Swede on the show. It's eraa from GamerLegion. Mate, coming on here to an English-speaking interview. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, perfect. Now, let's kind of go back. Now, typically, with these kind of episodes, we look at teams in 2021 and 2020, but with your team, because we haven't seen a lot of roster changes recently, I want to go back even further and start it of when you actually joined the lineup, because we saw you, Mezzy, Zero, and Adam all joining the team as what, about July time in 2020, and Rusty was obviously a part of the team already when the Quadra signing came through. So tell me a little bit about how that all kind of came together.
Well, I'd say the start of GamerLegion was a bit messy because we wanted our roster a certain way and we had some certain players in mind that it didn't come through. Hampus, for example, was one key player that left for NIP when our project was supposed to make space, and basically we were looking for players, and we had acquired Messi, who I was really happy with. Known him a little bit, talked a little bit with him, and he wanted to try out Adam. And
Hmm.
that's how we tested Adam, and we came to a conclusion to stick with that team.
Well, you sort of talk about a couple of Brits here. You had the likes of Mezzy, you got Adam, and then what we saw maybe a few weeks after you joined the team was a new coach coming through. We saw Grux retiring, wasn't doing the coaching role anymore, and then Ash came in. So, did you even get a chance to work with Grux very much, or was it just straight away Ash kind of got brought in?
Well, so basically, Messi had a bit of influence there as well. He wanted to try Ash because both Adam and Ash were really fond of. I mean, both Adam and Messi were really fond of Ash, so we brought him in as like an second coach analyst type of thing.
Okay.
While Gux were still like transitioning into trying to be a coach and like a new way, like a new work ethic for him because he was supposed to kind of play at beginning. He played a little bit in the beginning as well, but that didn't work out as well. So he transitioned into a coach, and then basically on the way, Gux basically told us that he did not want to continue with esport. He had something else in mind, and he was really fond of how Ash was working. Basically, what Adam and Messi told us about Ash was pretty much true. He's a fantastic coach and still is. So yeah, he was promoted to the main coach, and he's been there since the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess after this change came through, obviously we saw a lot of good results in for the team, and then it felt like it was just a massive step back losing Mezzy. Did that hurt the team a lot, knowing that he got acquired by Cloud9 and left the team, or was it almost okay? He's gone. It's just time to get another fifth, and then we'll start up again.
Nah, that move definitely hurt us a lot because Messi was at that point a bit of our star player, and basically when he left, we all understood that and respected that, but we basically all told ourselves that to replace Messi is gonna be it's gonna be impossible. We're gonna have to find
Yeah.
another player to do other stuff. We can't replace Messi's roles with another player, or we can't replace how we played with Messi with someone else. It wasn't possible. So we basically went for trying to find another young talent instead and work that way.
Now, obviously, for you and Rusty being Swedes, was it almost a bit of a weird feeling knowing that with these changes coming through, we could have got a young Swede, but instead we've got another Brit a part of the team? Dobbo came into the lineup, I'm sure, more influence coming through here from Ash and from Adam. But for you and Rusty, was it like, okay, yeah, it's another Brit, like it works with the environment of the team? Or what was your sort of perspective on Dobbo coming through?
Well, so basically, as I told you, the whole start of GamerLegion was a bit weird because we had different players in mind and we had more Swedish players in mind that just didn't go through and didn't happen. So basically, it was a bit like, what's going on? What are we gonna do? But basically, I was new to the project and I was just happy to be here and play and learn and get to experience. But obviously, it was a bit of a roller coaster for us, especially me and Rusty, having to adapt to English and basically have new culture and players with us. but we basically just put all of our trust into Ash and Igor, our management,
Hmm.
and we we worked our way up.
It definitely looks as if, when we look at 2020, especially when you join the team, that there wasn't really enough time as a full five for it to grow. There was always a new coach coming through, or maybe Messi leaving and Dobbo coming through. When that move finally came in, there was a portion of what, 6, 7 months or two, even going into the early stages of 2021, where the whole lineup was together as a five. So, what almost maintained the lineup for it to go for so long before changes happened? Did everyone in the team feel as if, okay, we've finally got the pieces and we're going to go into 2021 and try and keep this lineup going?
So basically, we knew we couldn't replace Messi, and we were on our way up with Messi. But basically, we brought in another young talent, Dobo, and me as well. I was still really inexperienced and haven't showed a lot of what I could do. And then Zero, we brought in Zero as well, who remained in the core, who also earlier took a break from CS:GO and had a lot to prove himself as well. So basically, we just decided to give this project time, believe
Yeah.
in it, and believe in what Adam could do, because Messi was really fond of Adam as well, and we stuck with our lineup. Just try to work with our issues and see how it would pan out, basically.
And maybe give me a bit of a vibe of what it was like playing in server with guys like Adam and Dobbo. Because for Adam, you probably played with him for what, 9, 10 months, and then Dobbo was slightly less, but you still played with both of these guys for an incredibly long period of time. So maybe for Adam, the calling style, was it very helpful as an AWP player to work with someone like him?
Um, I mean, yeah, definitely, because I think under the leadership of Adam, I was still doing really well. That's where I was starting to play better, and that's mostly because I was giving my freedom a bit, and I was doing a bit what I wanted. I became more of a star player in this team. I could really feel like, okay, Messi was gone. That means we can't replace Messi with another star player. We're gonna give a young talent a chance, and that means basically me, Sierra and Rusty. We have to step up. We have to take a bit more space within the team and show that we can do much more. And um, that's what I try to do as much as possible. And to Adam and Dobo, having them in the team, it was always a fun experience. Like we had our ups and downs, but they were really fun individuals, and I still see them as brothers. And
Hmm.
yeah, they're good friends.
Yeah, I'm sure it always feels good if you ever guys play ITV, right? Knowing that those two are back together, so maybe a rivalry building as the year goes on. But for the next move, right? It almost maybe felt like a reunion. Isak coming into the team. Now, I remember you guys playing together for a bit in 2019, 2020 when it was what Primer and Valoric. So, did it feel like for you, okay, this is great because I'm playing with a teammate that I've played with before?
Yeah, so basically that Valorix Prima lineup, I always told that our five there was the most upcoming Swedish players to at that time, and I still believe that, and I know all of the guys there are gonna make it, like CTR, Isak, all fantastic players that I play with. And so basically, when we were making this change and looking at players, Ash basically told me that I would have a bit, since I've became more of a star player, I would have a bit more influence on what players I wanted to play with. And we had a list of players that we were gonna trial, and I basically told Ash that I really want us to trial Isak. He was playing for Lil Mix back then, and they were doing pretty well actually. I think they almost reached top 30, and they were doing decent. Uh, and Isaac was doing well. As you could see, he was a big part of that success of Lil Mix, and he was almost playing all the roles we were searching for. So I basically told Ash, have a look at some demos of Isaac, and please let's trial him, because I know what he can do and what a good team player is, and that he could be the missing piece.
Hmm.
And yeah, Ash trusted me as I have trusted him, and we gave Isaac a shot, and he owned it.
And then I guess one of the other changes that happened, I think just about a week before Isak came in, was obviously IM being brought over. And I think everyone kind of knew that he was a breakout player on Nexus. But the issue that we've always seen with these Romanian players is typically, if they play for Nexus, they normally always play for Nexus. They don't ever go out, they don't play in these European teams. So what was it to search for someone like him in a team that theoretically almost never gets Romanian players out of the Romanian scene?
Well, so it was a bit funny because we wanted him like earlier when we lost Messi.
Okay.
We reached out to him and he didn't want to join. So that was basically just typical. He wants to stay in Romania and
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. But basically, we reached out to him again, and then his opinion had changed, and we were really happy that he wanted to join us because we were looking for a really aggressive type of player that could come with more initiative and basically make us a bit more aggressive as a team because we were lacking a bit of aggressiveness. And yeah, he did a great job. He's a really great player as well as his stats say, and he was definitely a missing piece.
Now, you sort of speak about some of the experience, right? Like transitioning more into a star player and getting some more backing from someone like Ash when it comes to some of these moves. When I look at GamerLegion, it's still a very young team. I mean, you're 20, Isaac's 20, I think IM's, 22, Zero's 23, and even Rusty, the in-game leader, is 24. So even though it's a team with a lot of experience, it is quite young. Do you get that same sort of perception too? Do you look at GamerLegion as being a young team?
Um, yeah, definitely. We know that we're a young team, and especially with this roster, we were having a bit of trouble. Like we weren't doing too well. But we always kept in mind that we're a young roster. We have the pieces that we needed. We just need to work hard on our problems and just keep in mind that we can do this. Like we built this team for a reason, and we see the potential, and we're gonna stick with it and as far as we can.
Now, this might be a period for a lot of the viewers to kind of wonder what's the next roster move or what was it? Well, we haven't seen one. The team has been together as a full five and coach for about 10 months now, which really in the tier 2 scene, if we're looking at a lot of teams in and around top 30, 40, even 50, is almost unheard of. So, from your perspective, what is maybe like some of the goals for the team? Because when I look at GamerLegion, like obviously it's a threatening team. They can go deep in a lot of the events, especially recently. But when it comes to actually winning events, we haven't seen you guys win many. So is there a missing piece with this entire sort of 10-month period where the whole lineup's been together where something's missing? Or is it more so that it's slowly day by day and month by month getting stronger and getting into a higher position?
Well, so basically we know that ourselves. We've been pushing some second places and some deep runs in tournaments, and we reached one of our goals, which was the top 30 rankings. And obviously we're happy but not satisfied. We know we can do much more, and we are looking for wins, definitely. We have had a lot of talks, and obviously everything is not cloud nine. We're working a lot, and that's the big point of talk. Like we have an international roster. With COVID and everything, we were dealing with a lot of what can I say, like mental problems. Like we couldn't go to LAN, we had to play online constantly, and we couldn't boot camp on top of that because we had all these different naturalities, and then our boot camp places in Germany, which we just couldn't boot camp, and we just had to play online, and it can affect people. So we've been working hard on our mental side together with our mental coach Marcus, stuff like that, and now basically we've come to a conclusion like we are a really threatening team. Like people are starting to see us now, and we can push it further if we want to. We all have to give 110%, believe in the project, and give it all. And I believe within a few months we can make ourselves a really big name.
Well, definitely when I look at who's at the helm, who's the captain, we look at someone like Rusty straight away. And for him, give me an idea about his in-game leadership, because obviously he's been a part of this team for the longest out of everyone, but then you had a portion where Adam was in-game leading, and now Rusty is, obviously a very experienced player who's been around for a while. You've played with him for 18 months or so now, same as for Zero, so kind of give me a vibe of what Rusty's like. I mean, being a fellow Swede, it's got to be a good relationship in that sense.
Yeah, so basically me and Rusty are really close, as I said. We've been through a lot of changes, and what I have huge respect for him is he's really experienced and really underrated within the Swedish scene. He could easily be playing in NIP or whatever, but also that he took up the in-game leader role because we didn't have an in-game leader, basically. It's hard to find, and he took that role, and he did it damn well, because, as you said, he's really experienced, and he lets the players, like, he gives us freedom to do whatever we want, and we are that type of players. And also he watches a lot of CS:GO. Like he watches so much CS:GO that he comes with a lot of fresh ideas together with Ash, and yeah, he is a really smart player, as I said, underrated, and yeah.
Okay. And I guess the last person to kind of speak to, so we only talked about it briefly, is Zero. This is a guy that when he played on Hellraisers, he was there for a very long time. And then maybe since that period, he filled in for a couple of teams before coming over to GamerLegion. As someone like for Zero, having so much experience, what does he bring to the team?
So basically, Zero mostly brings into the team what we were, like I was discussing a bit, our mental problems and mental issues and stuff like that. He basically keeps our mental in check. He's a bit of a experience in that fact. He's a bit of a, like, he can have conversations about issues that we other players can't. Basically, he lightens up the mood and makes it so much easier to play. Basically, he's a shining light, and you just can't hate that guy. You just can't.
He spoke about some of the goals already being achieved. Now, eraa, coming through maybe, let's say, half of the year and maybe the end of this year, are there anything further? Because obviously top 30 in the world is a very good achievement. Is it qualifying to lands? Is it being able to push yourself further up the rankings? Is it winning a certain amount of events in the year? Is there anything in mind of what the team wants to achieve going into later into the year?
Yeah, so basically we're looking to grab a victory in one of these Pinnacle or Malta Vibes tournament. That basically also means that we can qualify to a LAN. We have never been to LAN with this roster, and I really feel that we are a LAN team, and I would love to play LAN with this team. And otherwise than that, we are looking to do well in the ECA Challenger League, ECA ECA
Yeah.
Premier. They change name all the time. Because last season we made a really deep run and almost made it to the finals, and we felt that we could win that. And yeah, we're looking for Pro League. We're looking for a LAN, one of these cup wins. We're looking to make a name of ourselves, basically.
Okay, well, I know who I'm going to be keeping an eye on for the rest of the year. eraa, thank you very much for coming on, and best of luck for the rest of 2022.
Thank you, man.